good to go. Let's do it. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Karina Nova, live in the ABC 7 newsroom, and we're breaking in right now to give you this update from the Oakland Police Department. They're hosting a news conference to provide an update on several recent shootings and homicides. That includes an incident from Wednesday evening. 2 people were shot dead and 4 were injured during a robbery attempt that happened at a pawn shop in East Oakland. We can see the chief just started speaking there at the podium, so let's go ahead and listen in.
Good afternoon. On September 10th, 2025, just before 7:45 p.m., the Oakland Police Department received notice of an alarm emanating from Eddie Cash for Gold at 7114 International Boulevard. The alarm call for service was followed by several 911 phone calls indicating a shooting had taken place at that location. Oakland police officers responded, locating 7 individuals inside that location. 5 of those 7 were involved in what appeared to be an attempt robbery. The other 2 were employees of that business. At this time, the follow-up investigation has revealed that 5 suspects entered the business and began to assault the employees inside. Some of these robbers were armed with firearms. The employees likewise armed themselves, and an exchange of gunfire occurred between the 2 parties. Upon OPD arrival, 2 of the 5 suspects were found suffering from severe gunshot wounds. One of them was pronounced deceased on scene. Officers rendered first aid to the other, who was transported to a local hospital, but also succumbed to his injuries. Of the remaining 3 suspects, each suffered a survivable gunshot wound, were treated at local hospitals, and brought to the police department for follow-up. One of the 2 employees suffered a survivable gunshot wound, was treated at a local hospital, and was also brought to the police department for follow-up. The homicide section and district attorney's office investigators conducted follow-up work overnight on this case. The surviving 3 suspects have been booked on suspicion of murder as well as attempt robbery. Neither of the 2 employees from the business are in custody. All 5 of the attempt robbers have been identified as being from Stockton. There were 4 male adults and 1 male juvenile with this group. 2 of the adult males were killed. At this time, we are not seeking additional suspects. The case remains open, investigated by the Oakland Police Department in cooperation with investigators from the Alameda County DA's office. As far as updates on the other 2 cases, the case involving Mr. Israel Miller, who was killed on the night of September 6th, is a 19-year-old man who was killed on the 500 block of 18th Street. We continue to review evidence. We have interviewed multiple witnesses, have identified some persons of interest in the case, and are seeking opportunities to speak with them. The other case from the same evening around the same time in the 500 block of 17th Street involved the deceased Mr. John Escobel Jr. We continue to collect and review evidence. We've recovered 1 vehicle that was connected to this scene. We have made 1 arrest related to the violence from this scene and are working on identifying other persons of interest.
We'll open it up for a few questions.
How do you come to the homicide, the murder charge on the suspects?
From last night?
From the shooting last night, yeah.
Right.
So, in working with the district attorney's office overnight and assessing the facts of the case, due to the violence and the intent of the robbers in initiating this crime and the subsequent deaths, the suspects have been booked on those charges, and the full case will be presented to the district attorney's office for consideration.
So homicide of their compatriots that were involved in the shooting?
That's correct.
You said employees was one of the people in the shop, one of the pawn shop folks. Was that an owner? We were hearing owner before.
At this time, we're confident in identifying them both as employees. The ownership is still something we're working on.
And they were both armed and returned fire, or how did that happen?
Yes, at this time, we have evidence that both of the employees were armed with firearms and returned fire.
Melina.
A quick clarification in terms of the homicide charges. Are they being charged for homicide because they came in, and if they hadn't have come in, then that gun battle wouldn't have ensued? Or is it because the bullet that killed those 2 people were their bullets?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Who shot who is what you said?
Did they shoot?
Who shot first?
So it's a felony murder rule, right?
Yeah, yes, a fellow, yeah. Go ahead.
Well, so because of the nature of the act and the attempt robbery, the underlying felony conduct, then the subsequent deaths of the suspects we believe that their compatriots are thereby responsible for those deaths and therefore were booked on homicide charges.
Gotcha.
And the final determination in regards to what is charged will be determined by the DA's office, but that's what we put forward at this point in time.
Do you know who
Can
shot
we
who at this
finish?
point? Oh, I'm sorry.
Back up.
And I'll just quickly, right now, we're still early in the investigation. That's going to take time to determine who shot first in regards to who pulled out the guns first and things like that. It's just too early in the investigation to make that definitive assessment right now. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And Chief, aside from those logistics of it all, I understand that this is still under investigation, but what is your reaction to the fact that store owners, employees are now arming themselves to try to keep themselves safe and something like this happens?
Well, we're going to have to look at that piece of it as well, and that's part of the investigation that they're doing in regards to what the owners were doing. Are they authorized to carry those weapons within their business and take the actions that they did? Based on the investigation, they're cooperating with us right now. That's why they have not been charged. But again, the DA is going to look at every bit of this case and determine if any lesser charges will go against the owners or the operators of that business or elevated charges.
But just in terms of the fact that they're even arming themselves, we talked to some people on that corner today who say they're not the only ones that have armed themselves. A lot of employees are arming themselves because they're scared.
Well, I don't want anyone to think that we're in a place to where we want our community to become vigilantes. That's not what we're looking for here. But you have a situation to where the employees of the business were conducting business, and then 5 masked armed subjects, and not all of them were armed, but several masked armed subjects came in there and attempted to rob them, and they defended themselves. Again, the final outcome in charging is going to be a decision of the DA's office.
Harry? Backing up on the suspects, could you at least give the age of the juvenile, and are any of these 5 related to each other family-wise, and any talk about gang ties?
We're still in early phases of this investigation. We have not been able to identify any family relations between the suspects. The juvenile was 17 years old.
Just a question as far as what is your guys' reaction knowing that people came from Stockton, which is almost 2 hours away, to come here and commit these crimes?
Our reaction is that it's our solemn duty to investigate murders and crimes that occur in the city of Oakland, and we take that responsibility very seriously. And we have dedicated a lot of resources overnight, department-wide, to getting as far as we have in this case thus far. So we appreciate the opportunity to work with the DA's office moving forward for prosecution.
Yeah, and I think there was a smash and grab in Milpitas earlier in the day. Is there any indication that they might be the same suspects?
Right now, and that's a question that our investigators are looking at, is are these individuals involved in any of the other smash and grabs throughout the Bay Area? So that's going to be part of the investigation, but right now we don't have any information that they were connected.
Okay, and it's not unusual for a pawn shop employee to be armed, right? I mean, that's not crazy?
It just depends on the business and what the law allows them to do within their own business and how that business is set up.
Dean?
What can you tell business owners in Oakland right now that don't feel safe?
Well, what I would tell them is, when you look at our crime stats, not only are our homicides down over 20%, our robberies are down over 35%, our violent crime is down over 30% across the city. What we're doing in regards to ceasefire and our violence prevention efforts is working. It's going to take time. You're going to have these incidents that we've experienced over the last couple of weeks, but when you look at it collectively over the last 18 months, almost 2 years, you're looking at double-digit reductions in violent crime across the city. And when I say double-digit reductions, you're talking over 25-30% reduction in crime, in violent crime, Part 1 violent crimes across the city for almost 2 years straight. So it's going to take time for us to get to where we want to be, but what we are doing is working.
All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for coming.
Thank you, sir.
No,
Good afternoon. You've been listening to some information from the Oakland Police Department. They're giving us an update on that incident that happened Wednesday evening at a pawn shop in East Oakland where 2 people died. We got more information on charges and arrests in that situation. We'll have much more for you later on in our newscasts. You can keep it here on our live stream. You could also get the very latest on abc7news.com. We'll keep you updated on our website. Right now, we're going to wrap things up and take you back to regular programming. Thanks so much for watching.